In this lesson, we will learn the one principle which makes the difference in the end between an amateur performance and a professional one. On top of this principle, making you look and present in a more professional way, it actually has also the tendency to correct and hide mistakes and vocal difficulties. When I think of it, I should have called this one the golden rule, because it's just so good and so essential. And I'll just tell you about it. What you absolutely have to keep in mind while you sing is that stopping is not allowed. I call that the non-stop principle. This principle is good for your performance, and it's also actually good for your practice. So if you're singing an exercise or a phrase from a song or a whole song in your sing through, doesn't matter, you don't stop and you don't even slow down. You sing your exercise/phrase through and then you stop and evaluate. The only condition in which you have permission to stop in your practice is when you feel a certain discomfort in your throat. So any kind of hoarseness, pressure, or pain, then you can stop. But if the throat is fine, you go on. That's the non-stop principle. Now let me demonstrate to you what difference it actually makes when you stop versus when you don't. So I'm going to sing now a phrase from a song. I'm going to sing Love of My Life, and I will do that with hesitation, with stopping and slowing down as I sing, okay? Love of my life, you've hurt me, you've taken my heart, and now you leave me. That's what this looks and sounds like. And now I'm going to sing that with the non-stop principle. Love of my life, don't leave me. You've broken my heart, and now you leave me. So the first version, it's not like the voice was horrible. Everything was sort of correct, even though maybe I got the lyrics a little bit wrong, but you wouldn't consider me a professional if I did that on stage. All of the stopping, the slowing down, and the faces that I made. In the second version, I delivered the whole phrase, non-stop, not slowing down, and you got more confidence showing on my face too. By the way, that was not intentional to show you confidence. Just by going through the whole phrase and not hesitating no matter what happens, that gave you that vibe of confidence. And now I want to already show you an upgrade. So when you're going to go on and get your performance exercises, you're going to experience some of that as well. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sing this again, and I'm just going to pretend that this is the best thing ever. And let's see what happens. Love of my life, you've hurt me. You've broken my heart, and now you leave me. Love of my life, can't you see? I think that was better. What do you think? As I said before, the non-stop principle is also a mistake smoother. So if you have, for example, a bad note or note that you think was wrong or didn't sound good, by doing the non-stop principle, there is a very high chance that it would not be perceived as a bad note by the listener. There are so many mistakes you can get away with by applying the non-stop principle. Off notes, forgetting lyrics, bad vocal quality of any kind. It's a wondrous thing. But most importantly, I cannot repeat this enough. The non-stop principle is necessary to get you from the amateur to the professional box. Your task for this lesson is to record your next sing-through session. It could also be a different part of the practice, doesn't matter. And you try it first without the non-stop principle and then with it. And I want you to comment and tell us what you noticed. And get this into your head, once you start, you don't stop. changing our mindset to suit the stage. This is important to stress that your practice on stage is not just about repetition. It's about getting the right mindset and tools and repeating those. In this lesson, we're examining our point of view. Instead of having expectations of ourselves as performers, we will acknowledge our actual expectations of performers. And if by the end of this lesson you realize that you've expected different things of yourself than you do of other people, welcome to the world. You're definitely not the only one. The task of this lesson is actually coming right now, in the beginning. I'd like you to pause the video and take a moment to type down in the comments or write to yourself, what is a good performance in your opinion? I'd like you to have a performer or a few in mind that you absolutely adore and that you are inspired by. What makes them so great? What sets them apart from others? Then ask, what do I need to be able to do to perform well? What skills do I need to acquire or improve? Is it done? Good. Now let me tell you my answer. In a performer, I am looking for complete dedication. I'm looking for confidence, but show of easiness. I want to see intense and real feelings. I want to see them, the real them, and all of them. I want to feel something when watching or hearing them. That's me, but I can tell you that's most. We are looking for the artist, especially regarding the feelings. We're looking for the real artists and their real emotions. And we love music because it makes us feel. Whatever it is that you're looking for in a performer, that tells you right there what you should aim for in your performance. Here's the good news. If you're thinking that you yourself have to be really good technically for your performance to be considered good, then working on all those things we just mentioned, charisma, conveying emotion, personal expression, those will improve probably your voice as well. In fact, a very quick and effective method to get a certain technique scaled up, just to get it successful more often and more consistently, is by working on the song as a whole. You'll see that in the module about performance exercises. As a conclusion, what I ask of you is to start treating your performance more objectively. Don't make things harder than they already are. Realize what's really important in a good show and make that your priority when you prepare for your good show. And we will learn how to convey real emotions so that our performance is convincing and moving. The people who are best in conveying emotions are arguably actors. If you know how to act, you know how to seem like you're going through something, even if it's all an act. But here is my opinion. There's not really such a thing as acting. Everybody in a certain situation is an actor, as in they can convey emotions. Each and every one of us in a certain situation will have a suitable expression. We will look happy when we're happy, and we will look sad when we are in fact sad. Good actors don't act, they relive. They use real emotions, real memories. When they act, they put themselves in a certain situation mentally, so they are actually going through something. I'm not an acting teacher, but I can help you get your acting class one-on-one right now. Here's what you do if you want to express emotions in a song. Step 1. Determine what the song is talking about. I recommend identifying what the situation is and not just the emotion, such as happy or sad, but as specific as possible. Something like it's about finally winning after a long time of struggle, or it's about breakup and the heartbreak that causes. Step 2, choose a scenario when you have experienced the situation. Take your time to remember it, talk about it, or write about it, and try to relive it a bit. Step 3, have that situation in mind when you're singing the song. If you feel the song is about a general emotion, you can make it more specific by choosing a person from your life to whom this emotion is related. For example, if it's about love, you choose someone that you love or used to love, and then you pretend that you're singing to them, maybe even addressing them directly. If you will, this is a sort of a performance exercise, and you can start experimenting with it in your sing-through session. I would say it's much more than just a performance exercise. It is actually the bottom line of how you eventually want to deliver your song. If your goal is to make your song relatable and look authentic and real. Let's do that now. Pick a song or a few and give them the analysis that I suggested here in the lesson. Comment below and give us some ideas. Your mind versus the world. That's what it feels like sometimes, doesn't it? When we're on stage, it's like the whole world is in opposition to us, waiting to judge us. We are against the world. Fortunately, this is not necessarily the case. Let's wrap our head around this from the start. What you think ain't necessarily so.
It ain't necessarily so.
This lesson is for you if you tend to judge yourself and your singing while you sing. So, everyone. Not everyone tends to judge for the worse, but most people do. There's really no quick way in which I can convince you of this if you're one of us who tends to think that everything goes wrong and everything sounds terrible as you perform. But you will realize the truth if you do one or more of the following. 1. When you practice performing in front of people you like and trust, ask them to take notes and rank you, specifically about how nervous they think you might look and how the show was overall. After you sing and before you check their numbers, write down your own judgment and then compare. That's an exercise I did in performance workshops I conducted, and the judgment from the performer was harsher than the judgment from the audience in 98% of the cases. 2. Get feedback from the audience after your performance. More often than not, you will get compliments. And it will feel strange in the beginning, almost like they're pulling your chain because you were thinking that it was not going well at all. But you will see that some of the compliments are clearly genuine, so give them credit. 3. Record and film your performances. After a period of adjustment, if you need one, of getting used to watching or hearing yourself, you'll be able to assess whether your performance was as bad as you thought. If your feeling about your performance was better than the performance actually was, and that's in a very small minority of cases, then that will probably cause a negative feeling for you. There are ways to deal with that, and we'll talk about that more in our lessons about dealing with failure. Bottom line, don't pay attention to your own feelings and judgment when you perform. Assess your performance by outside means. And that includes also the quality of your voice. That is actually acoustically a different sound than what you hear in your head. You know I'm right if you've ever listened to a recording of yourself. It may take patience and a bit of cognitive dissonance in the beginning, but trust me, changing your approach to judging your performance will save you a lot of heartache in this process. Just remind yourself as often as possible, what's in my head is not reality. My task for you is to share an experience you had when you had one thought while you were singing and then realized it was not the case. It can be in a show or from a practice you recorded. If you don't have such an experience yet, try it now. Do a sing-through session and record it. Or ask someone to listen in and compare your notes. Did you ever in a million years expect me to ask you to be hypocritical when you signed up for this course? I assure you I'm full of surprises. In this lesson, I'd like to tell you about my die-hard philosophies about singing. I have 2 of them, and they contradict each other. If you're a private student of mine or have taken a course Make Singing Click, then you already are familiar with at least one of my philosophies. Once something works in a practice session or a lesson that makes your voice better, I immediately want more. We never reach our vocal goal. We always look for something better to upgrade it. I think this is a really healthy approach. You push yourself forward all the time and you find new qualities and abilities in your voice. You explore your potential as a singer. I preach and practice this approach so much, it's almost painful to admit that in this course there is almost no room for that line of thinking. When we prepare to go on stage, and I've said that before, I'll say it again, we cannot concentrate on making the singing better. This is a distraction from the productive stage work that I'm teaching here. When it's time to focus on a show, I want you to forget about this never satisfied, always want more motto and start using another. How I sing right now is exactly what I need. This is what people came here to hear, and it's worth people paying good money for. Whatever happens on stage, that was my plan all along. That was my intention. Here we begin our fake it till you make it journey. You might not believe all those things I just said in this motto, but if you want a good chance of success, you better believe it. And it is possible to believe it. Being told something over and over again has very strong effects. Self-persuasion is a powerful thing. So tell yourself these things whether you believe it or not. And here's something that may convince you that at the end of the day, a singer, a professional singer, a singer who sells tickets for a lot of money can do that simply by deciding to do that. Take a look at this.
Isn't how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is a blowing in the wind.
It's all because of you. I'm feeling sad and blue. You went away. Now my life is filled with rainy days, and I love you so. How much you'll never know.
This is the first day of my life. Guess I was born right in the doorway. And I went out in the rain, suddenly everything changed. They're spreading flying guts on.
These singers are not very good vocally. We heard all kinds of things, shaky voices, singing out of tune. Some voices would be described by some as unpleasant, and sometimes it looks like they're just talking and there is no actually any melody going on. But you know some of those singers probably. They're very famous. Maybe you even like or love some of them. That proves my point. Even when you sing badly, you can get to the point when you're a professional. And to do that, you have to have the conviction. Your task for this lesson: open a new file or a clean piece of paper which you won't lose. And we're gonna fill this sheet of paper or file with mantras that are productive and empowering to make you think more positively about your performance. And we're gonna start with this one. Write this down. How I sing right now is perfectly good. This is what I want to give, and this is what people came and paid to see. We will talk more later about how to use your mantras to prepare for a show. In the meantime, have it written down and go back to it whenever a show and the self-doubts are getting closer.